Yes, indeed. It's World Press Freedom Day this day. And we're joined by Martin Oloja, who is the editor of the Guardian newspapers. Thank you for coming on this morning.
You're welcome.
You know, I was just wondering, looking through the dailies, what's going on? Are they saving the best for last? And we didn't see so much focus on that. Are we forgetting to highlight some of those issues that will enhance press freedom?
Definitely, that is what it means, that we are forgetting the issues that enhance press freedom, and it appears that we don't have freedom. That is what it means. we are limiting our own freedom.
But you know, as it is, this day provides us the opportunity to highlight some of those issues and challenges, you know, that we face in the execution of the job, the profession, such that the society is better for it at the end of the day, because the key function of the press is as such. How free would you say the press is in Nigeria?
Definitely, you know, the press is free in Nigeria. If you review Reporters Without Borders report that was released yesterday, you'll discover around the world that the press is facing some strains and stresses. And as a result of that, you see limitations here and there, and the absence of freedom is affecting even democracy. The majesty of democracy has been disturbed by what is happening to press around the world. But in Nigeria, one of the problems is what you have just mentioned. We are the problems. One, we have poor capitalization in the news media to the extent that most of our colleagues are not paid for a whole year. That is what is limiting our freedom. I will physically read what some people, some legends have said about freedom. We have freedom in Nigeria. Nobody is constraining anybody. We have seen some issues here and there about a Punch reporter being disturbed, being sent off and recalled. These are isolated cases, but nobody disturbs anybody from reporting the truth and the facts in Nigeria. We are the ones that are censoring ourselves about the issues of the day, about the news that feeds democracy. Nobody is disturbing anybody in Nigeria. We have freedom. We are the ones that are not giving ourselves freedom. As you can see, even we couldn't report World Press Freedom Day. So to a very large extent in Nigeria, we have the freedom, but we, as I think one NTA slogan used to be, say, you cannot beat the rich, but we now cannot reach the bait. We have some constraints.
What do you think about the freedom of information? It's an act now. We have that in place, and that affords journalists the strength or the window to ask for information anywhere they go to. Do you think that is put in a light that allows the journalists to be able to operate within the Nigerian environment?
Well, definitely it allows us to operate. You know, we have this Freedom of Information Act in Nigeria here. It is to help. It was put together under the Obasanjo administration. It's to help Public Procurement Act and fiscal responsibility, all to fight corruption, to have transparency and accountability. But we in the media have not used that act very well to ask for information. One of the constraints that we have in the mainstream media is having skilled reporters that can actually report the system, to report politics, to report business, even human interest issues. The tribe of reporters is disappearing all over the place. I don't know about the channel, but it will in the print media have this kind of problem. And some of the experienced ones are retiring, and I talked about capitalization earlier. You see that the social media has taken over. Then you can see that citizens have taken over journalism from journalists. So we now have the trouble of citizen journalism, where anybody can report no depth. I was holding a book here now. We are losing the news. A Pulitzer Prize winner wrote the book, Losing the News. We are losing the news that feeds democracy all over the place because of social media. So this is the constraint we have that is affecting our freedom. We have these, we have the challenge of managing the citizen journalism. We in the mainstream media, traditional media, are finding it difficult to cope with the incursion of citizen journalism. And this is a big problem.
You think that perhaps, if it's a problem, do you think that the legislators could intervene in this regard? Because we've had situations where some lawmakers came out to say that perhaps we should review the social media capacity in this country.
Well, you know, they are even using a section of the cyber law that we have now. Some governors are arresting reporters in the states here and there. And we, even most of the time in the media, don't care about that. We just behave as if it didn't happen. Some governors are doing it here and there. They are using a section of the Cyber Act. Even the EFCC sometimes used it to get a reporter arrested. These are isolated cases, but what we need now is a strong political will from leadership in the mainstream media and not law. What we have enough freedom, we have enough provisions in our law. Section 22 of the Constitution allows us to hold government to account. Yeah. And that is the freedom that we have. So what we are doing is constitutional. We are guaranteed by the Constitution to do our work. Freedom of Information Act is there. There are enough provisions in our law. And somebody was just talking the other time. I told the person that even sedition law had been pulled down by a Court of Appeal judgment during the Second Republic, and it was given by Justice Oloja, who said, look, your sedition has no place in the democratic society, that people in leadership positions should plug their ears with cotton wool, and those that cannot stand the heat should leave the kitchen. Justice Oloja. But we are the ones that need to free ourselves from some constraints that we have. I continue to insist on that.